Why it's okay to lift heavy on an empty stomach. Fasted weight training. Hey guys, Kellen Chase with UnstoppableFitness.co here, and today I want to talk about one of my favorite little myths and mistakes that I still see around the bodybuilding, especially the bodybuilding community. And I think this probably has to do with, I don't know, protein powder manufacturers or something, or supplement manufacturers that are like telling you that if you don't eat before you lift, or if you don't eat while you're lifting, or if you don't have your protein shake immediately after your workout, you're going to kill all your gains, right? With a Z, gains. And it's just ridiculous. Like, it's something that I bought into for a long time, actually. I was huge about eating every 2 hours, you know, making sure to break up my meals and all this stuff. And that type of nutrient timing is not that important. It's really a very small percentage on the scale of really getting results in and out of the gym. And it's okay to fast. You know, this is something that I fought for a long time because I had gained a lot of muscle and was terrified to lose it. I swear I was neurotic about it, as most gym rats are. And it's okay. Like, I would carry around all kinds of snacks and foods that I would never be hungry, and because I thought hunger was like the enemy. And come along was reading one of my favorite, you know, blogs and think tanks around bodybuilding and muscle building and all that kind of thing from real pros. And there was a guy, I can't remember his name. I'm gonna, if I can find it, I'll put a little thing at the bottom here. But I was reading this guy's article, and it was all about research that he was doing for DARPA, which is the Army's Advanced Research and Development Division. And he was doing research on what he called metabolic flexibility for soldier survivability, right? So this is war fighters that are out in the field, and he's looking at increasing their metabolic flexibility, which he defined as going from essentially a fat burning state to a sugar burning state, or vice versa, being able to do that rapidly and flexibly. And he was doing this research, you know, for the military. And so there was and it all had to do with being able to survive a certain type of fast and acclimate yourself to it. Being able to acclimate yourself to a fast of varying and increasing lengths. And this, you know, I had for the longest time kept seeing fasting popping up here and fasting popping up there, and ideas around it, and just thought it was absolutely ridiculous. But then when I saw it in the bodybuilding think tank that I was subscribed to, and it was research being done by DARPA around it, and you know, the guy had supporting evidence that you actually increase the hormones that you'll want for, you know, your anabolic hormones. They increase on the back end of a fast. You know, the first thing is your catabolic hormones come out, but as a swing kind of pendulum method, your body, you know, switches it back the other way, and all of a sudden you're primed for anabolism and for hypertrophy in a big way. So when I started to read that and started to realize that after a certain period in a fast, your body stops going for the expensive stuff and starts burning fat. When I say expensive stuff, I mean it's expensive for your body to hold on to muscle. It's a very expensive tissue to hold on to. And this is also one of the reasons that I like to invest in my muscle mass, because your body doesn't like to lose muscle mass as well. It likes to hold on to it, and it's expensive to keep, which means that your resting metabolic rate will be higher by having muscle mass, and you'll be able to keep it easier as long as you get your hormones into the right type of state. So this may include, you know, if you have a lot of fat stores, then you're going to want to increase your muscle mass as much as possible, because just your BMI is going to change those hormones in. It's why it's easy for me to stay fit, because I've invested enough in my muscle mass that I like kind of lean to that end. Whereas if I was overweight, I would want to get down overweight over weight with fat specifically, because I've been told by doctors that I'm obese because I'm overweight, quote unquote, but it has nothing to do with weight, right? It's about muscle mass and that kind of thing. But again, if I had a very high body fat percentage, I would want to reduce that as quickly as possible and incorporate exercises that get me into the right hormonal state that I'm looking for. Tangent. Hope, give me a thumbs up if you like the tangents. Let me know whether they're useful for you or not. Anyway, so fasting, right? It increases the anabolic hormones and that kind of thing. So I saw this guy's article. I saw that he was talking about doing this, and he left me with a very quick and easy to implement call to action. He just said, try it for a month. Not fast for a month, for a full month, but try 4 days in that month, experiment with fasting, and see if over time it gets easier. So being an office worker at the time, I said, you know what, let me try this. I'll try this experiment. If it's good enough for DARPA, it's good enough for me. And I looked at it and I said, all right, let me try this for a month of Mondays. So I figured it was easier because since I was in an office, I wouldn't need to make lunch. I wouldn't need to make snacks for myself, which I'd been doing. I wouldn't need to do any of these things. So I'll just, Monday, it'll be an easy thing. I'll go in and I'll try and fast for 24 hours. The first time I think I lasted 12. I'm not even sure. I just remember watching my mind go crazy at a certain point. I was hungry and I kept thinking am I okay? Is this safe? Am I sure? Who is this guy that's doing this research? Is it really okay? I thought that I was, it was a little bit of a crazy making thing, but the experiment was see how long you can go the first time, see how long you can go the second time. And so I gave up after whatever time. I went and bought lunch and elite lunch and had it, and it was a great meal and whatever. The next time I got a little bit farther. I think I made it to 18 hours or something like that. And then finally that third time, I was able to make it a full 24 hours, and I woke up more refreshed. I remember the next day there was a certain clarity that I had. And I've since found that that's your brain switches over to burning ketones rather than glucose. And this is, some say it's a more efficient fuel. I don't know. All I know that I was more clear-headed afterwards. So I was like, okay, I can do this. So I since incorporated that and called it Hungry Mondays. And I did it for about 2.5 years. I now don't always do it. Sometimes I'll do longer fasts. Sometimes I'll do shorter fasts. It's not as regimented on every Monday as it had been for that 2.5 years, but for me, it was like this little experiment that lasted a long time and gave me a lot of benefits. And I started working out that way. I started, I had, at the time, the workout that I was doing, I was either doing squats or I was doing deadlifts on my Mondays. And I remember, I was scared. I was scared to do a heavy lift in a fasted state. I thought that I wouldn't have the energy. I thought that, all of these things of not having enough nutrients to make it happen, to really dig in and get rough with it in terms of my workouts, really, really pushing hard for heavy squats, heavy deadlifts. And the ironic thing is, as I started working out, I did have a little bit of a dip, and I remembered being like, oh no, I don't know how this is going to go, but I'll do what I can, right? And later into the workout, I actually felt more energized and better than I had in a long time. And I've since hit multiple PRs on deadlifts and squats and, whatever else I've done on that day while fasted. And it's weird. I don't know why. I don't exactly know why it is. I know that there's a guy, Dom D'Agostino, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but he's doing research around ketosis, ketones, the ketogenic diet. And I think he's doing research specifically for Navy SEALs. And there's, while your body's in a fasted state, you are burning ketones. So this is related to the ketogenic diet and ketosis. And the reason he's doing it for the Navy SEALs is because when you're burning ketones, you can actually hold your breath for a longer period of time. There's just in the way that the ketones are used for fuel, they use less oxygen in their reaction or something, so you're able to hold your breath longer. So that's where the research started with Navy SEALs. It also helps with kids with epilepsy and seizures. It just by changing their diet to super high fat and medium protein, no carbs, they have less seizures. Their brain operates better. So anyway, he's doing research around this, and he's been on several podcasts that I've heard recently where he's talking about he's also hit huge PRs and personal records and personal bests on deadlifts and squats and all that while completely fasted. And I think he's talking about multi-day fasts. I'm only talking about 24 to 36 hours. But anyway, that is my experience with fasting and heavy lifting. I suggest if you haven't tried it, give it a shot. Do the 30-day experiment of picking 4 days out of that 30 days and just see how your metabolic flexibility changes. See how you start out, how long you can go fasted without eating, and then increase it over time and see how that goes for you. Don't do 4 days in a row unless you're ready for it. I know that is actually something that people are doing for a lot of longevity type of stuff now. Is your body goes through something called autophagy or autophagy, which is the body starts to eat its own metabolic waste. So in our metabolic processes, we have cellular waste and gunk that gets built up over time. And when you're fasting for a long period of time, your body starts to clean up that waste as a fuel source. And this, I'm explaining it probably pretty poorly. So anybody who's scientifically minded, let me know how I can clarify that a little bit for you. But you can check out Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She's doing a lot of great work around this on Found My Fitness. Anyway, this autophagy type of thing causes your body to also pick up and take out senescent cells, which are cells that are, they should be dead, but they're still operating, and they cause stress around the other cells. They start to secrete things that make the other cells age faster and start to die. And these cells are either turned off or killed in long-term fasts. And so that is a marker for people when they're looking at the longevity thing is how long can we go without having these senescent cells, because they cause this cascading effect. And so if you do these super long fasts, the body starts to take those out. And there are also signs that your stem cells start to operate and regenerate older tissue or aging tissue. So this is like all on the cellular level, but it's another thing to check out. So again, try fasting if you're interested in it. Let me know what you thought of this video. Have you done any lifting completely fasted? It's again one of my favorite things for fat loss is to do fasted, really low state cardio in the mornings. So this won't even be a long-term fast. This will be after my eight hours of sleep or 10 hours since I last ate. I will get up, I won't have breakfast, I'll go hiking, right? So in a fasted state, and I did a video on this called Neat for Keto people. So this whole thing is about your body is already in a fat burning state because it's been fasted for a period of time, and then you go and you give it a light load. So the moving, the walking, you're starting to burn calories, and those calories then come from your fat preferentially because you're already burning it. So anyway, give fasting a try. Let me know what you think. Do a fasted workout if you haven't. Don't hurt yourself. Be careful, but see what you think. Do an experiment with yourself. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, let me know what you think about this concept. Let me know if you have any questions or comments below. And if you have anything going on with back pain, I've got something for you at unstoppablefitness.co/backpain. There I've got an ebook and video combo for free that you can download that has a 30-second trick that I do with a golf ball in order to reduce back pain. So this is a great little video that I've made. I've been getting some good responses on it, and I want to know what you think. Check it out. It'll help you relieve your back pain, increase your mobility, and increase your strength all in 30 seconds. And it's free for you. Just sign up for my newsletter and you can get that. Anyway, I will catch you later, and stay strong, stay healthy. This is Kellen Chase with UnstoppableFitness.co. Bye.